Hello, and welcome back to my Afterfall Insanity playthrough. Well, last time we lost Professor Tomaszewski through a really stupid scenario. Concocted a virus to the craziness. I'm sorry, not a virus. We concocted an antidote to the virus, or to the craziness. And after chasing the strange figure we've seen quite a few times on our journey, the man on the monitor at the beginning of the game, and the man who dropped the container, causing us to deal with an annoying reactor puzzle, we still find ourselves trying to speak with Colonel Pataki, and to find out if our friend Marcin's okay. Marcin, I forget. Whatever. Martian, I think. But when we stopped last time, we had just killed a welder who had finished welding that door shut. Then we went in here, solved this puzzle, and we find ourselves, well, once again, a little unsure of where to go. That's okay, though. We have our trusty radar. Oh, we did. There we go. Getting stuck on corners is always fun. We have a friend on our way back. Didn't even get the coup de grace that time. Tokaj didn't let us. But there's no fire here now.
The virus must not get into the respiratory system.
Well, judging by these strange hallucinations we're hearing, looks like Tokaj should have heeded that advice a little better. And if you thought the wobbly lines are bad, this little graphical effect is much worse. That elevator doesn't seem like it's going to be our friend. So let's go over here instead. And the obligatory elevator scene. Though, it seems like it took care of itself. Excuse me.
The shelter's main gate. To think that the surface is just behind it.
Yeah, another big theme with this game, much like games like Fallout, the idea for the shelter is that you shouldn't leave the shelter. Professor Tomaszewski was actually a big proponent of never leaving the shelter. In fact, he was terrified of it.
I look at the shelter gate and can't stop thinking. Could anyone have predicted what happened? Could I predict it? First cases of the confinement syndrome were observed long before the war. They were rare and not taken seriously. People didn't believe in the nuclear apocalypse back then. No wonder that they disregarded the syndrome. Nobody suspected that it would spread like a plague in the shelter. We should have been prepared. If only I had known earlier. Thoughts are contagious. Millions spent on defense programs and nobody cared to take it into consideration. My work would be a lot easier if the shelter were equipped with syndrome cure vending machines. Instead, we have an unknown substance that enhances the symptoms of this mental epidemic. All it took was one madman to change the shelter into a raving loony bin. I'd like to examine him. Martin's apartment should be around here somewhere on the technical level. I'll check if he's okay. Even if he's not home, there's a comm screen inside. I could use it to contact the Colonel.
Aside from Tokaj just brushing off his friend as, it's okay, I can still contact the Colonel, and very creepily saying he wants to examine the man we're chasing after, he comes to the conclusion that all of this is due to the containment sickness really quickly. Again, the data doesn't match up. It's a pretty big stretch to assume that being crazy would cause these people to mutate into terrible monsters. But seeing nowhere else to go, let's step over here real quick and drop our fire axe, sadly. Pick it back up again, of course. Well, that almost killed me. It's okay. As the music tells us, we've got friends to fight. And there they come. Now enemies, I didn't mention before, but enemies will try to back up from you when you're swinging. It's sort of an attempt to keep you from just mashing on the button. But they don't back up slow enough, and every time Tokaj swings, as you can see, he moves forward. So no matter how much they back up, eventually they're going to want to swing back and you'll hit them. Either that or they'll get a hit off on you and then you get to quickly swing at them anyway.
What the fuck? It's him! Holy shit!
Not sure what our antagonist was running from. I feel bad about calling him an antagonist considering we don't even know he's done anything. Not too bad though. Now it says here, use the car lift to clear your path. Which is just what we'll be doing. And they force us to tap E. We've got problems to deal with. It's okay though. Our fire axe will make short work of this guy. Enemies will continue to come after us, of course. But the car lift, luckily, drops right back down. Whoa! That actually made me jump a little bit. It's nice when this game actually manages to scare you. And another fire axe in case you didn't already have one. I do. Now we can take a crowbar if we needed it, but we don't.
Anything that moves and ain't one of us.
I guess there won't be a chance to talk myself out of this.
And now the Republic guards show up again and decide they're going to cause us more trouble than they're worth. There's no stealth here. So we're going to have to deal with them as best we can. They've got guns, well, then damn sure I'm going to be using guns. Headshots kind of help. Luckily we'll get ammo back there, and we'll pick up this two-handed hammer. Kind of tired of the fire axe. Well, actually, two-handed fire axe swings a little bit better. Well, I suppose we could use this cattle prod for a bit. Haven't used one-handed weapons in a while. Sorry, I'm being so indecisive. Now, right here is an access card. We need that to access this. Now, there was nothing wrong with that man we just killed, as you could probably tell. He's just in our way.
Shit. More guards. I gotta be careful.
Did you close the door? Yeah, we're safe here. But what about the rest? Are you
And they just kind of drop the cattle prod back on my head, and we acquire a shotgun? I don't quite understand. Also, these hallways are a little awkward. But rather than deal with these the intelligent way, we're just going to back up here and beat him with a cattle prod. Can roll out of the way, but as you see, he just chases us anyway. And no point in wasting time on a coup de grace. A little bit of ammo for our GX-10 over here. Not a pistol. For whatever reason, the ammo keeps saying it is. As you can see, the cattle prod's not that terrible of a weapon. That's because it's one of the longer one-handed weapons. The longer one-handed weapons aren't that terrible. It's just the ones like the Pacificator that are the worst.
Remember, in case of a problem, always turn to shelter security. Officers are here to help and serve the citizens.
Not particularly sure where that voice was coming from. It doesn't matter. Now, it doesn't really make sense that we are being attacked by guards. At least the one guard. The other ones were taken out for us, so we didn't have to. There's no reason we would be enemies of the shelter. And even though that should have been a good scare, I heard him approaching behind me. Come on, go down to the coup de grace state. I want to actually see what it looks like. Just the same as always. You don't taser him with your cattle prod, nothing. You just beat him in the face. No loading screen that time, but a checkpoint was activated. What's this?
The man responsible for this atrocity is to be found immediately. All off-duty military personnel are to report to their squad leaders at once. Search every room, corridor, storage area, and corner. Arrest any suspects. Use all available methods, including deadly force, to bring him down.
Well, there's Colonel Pataki. We don't get to talk to him, but it seems like he's got everything under control. That's lovely. And we're going to switch to this power hammer. Haven't used it in a while. Now,
That switch isn't working.
Colonel Pataki mentioned whoever is the cause of all this needs to be brought down. He doesn't really do much in describing who did all this. At the moment, we can only assume it's the man we're chasing after. But I mean, that's a pretty flaky reasoning.
That switch isn't working.
The most evil we've seen this man do is try and blow up the reactor, which admittedly is pretty terrible. Another hacking session, rather. Easier, though, luckily enough. And yet another enemy. Tokaj is apparently terrified by this scenario. The whole psychologist thing doesn't really factor in.
Command announcement. After the finished exercise, it is imperative to maintain a weapon, secure a safety catch, and put it back on the arms rack. Disregarding this rule will result in a week-long ban on bar admittance.
Well, that sucks for them. No ammo for us. And not much else for us in this room. It says secret door activated. And we have another friend real quick. Let's take care of him. Just forgot to hammer on the button. I'm trying to get him in a coup de grace state, but it doesn't look like they're gonna let me. It's no problem, though. They put a timer here for some reason. Even though it's more than easy enough to just switch between the two buttons.
Okay, back to the tech area.
And here is a new enemy type. Big enemies with cattle prods. Once again, the only real method of fighting them is to mash on the left click. Their attacks don't do much more damage, and the electricity does absolutely nothing to hurt you, really. It's a refreshing change from the last set of enemies, though. At least we have something new to look at. Thought that man was dead, but apparently not. It's okay, we'll get to regain some health in this coup de grace animation. Let's just kill this guy real quick. As you can see, they are using the cattle prod electric clubs. Now, these particular enemies, they are called Mutated Soldiers. The Hussar were not soldiers, I guess. I assumed incorrectly. Not really quite sure what the Hussar are. But yes, we are now dealing with Mutated Soldiers. Again, not sure how a psychological problem turns into complete body mutation. But Tokaj is clearly more of an expert on all of this than I am. Yeah. My friend over here has a GX10 for me. And another cattle prod if I so wanted it. I don't. And we'll switch to the large pipe for a while. Haven't used this yet. We need to restore power, as Tokaj has mentioned. And, well, we'll be doing that in the next video. Straight up ahead. I'll see you then.